If you want to live, for the most part, happily ever after, there are some brutal life lessons you must learn. Stay tuned. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, we inspire. And we are on final chapter of, based upon an article by a gentleman named Nicholas Cole, an outstanding article that he wrote about 20 brutal lessons he learned in his 20s. I pointed out to you that some people, their 20s are their 30s, their 40s, their 50s. Okay, the point is people mature at different speeds and different levels. And these are lessons you want to learn if you want to be that success that you desire and you deserve. All right, let's pick it up right where we left it off. All right, the next one we want to talk about. Practice is not overrated. Once again, huge shout out to Nicholas Cole. If you want to be the best at what you do, you have to practice. Practice, practice, practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, practice, practice. Nothing can replace it. The point here that I'm making is critical. If you are going to be performing a function in your occupation or whatever endeavor you're pursuing, drill, practice, and rehearse. When you drill, practice, and rehearse, you put yourself in a position to see the things that quite possibly could be a monkey wrench in your plans. And the more practiced you are, the more subconsciously you can perform the action. What I'm saying is you can perform it without thinking so that you can focus on the situation around you. As you know, a basketball player as an example, you want to practice your form, practice your form, practice your form, so that it becomes automatic. Your body gets muscle memory from doing something the same way over and over and over again. That's a good thing. You want to have that muscle memory. That way you're able to respond instead of react. You always want to be in a position to respond. If the doctor says to you, here's some medicine, take that and see me in the morning, and you go back the next day and he said, how did you do on that medicine? You say, well, I responded well, I'm feeling much better. Or you say, I had a reaction, look at all the hives I have. Do you follow what I'm saying? Be in a position to respond. The only way to do that is to master your craft, and when you master your craft, the only way to do that is to practice, practice, practice. Next one. Not everybody is a real friend. You know, some of your friends are friends at work, some are bar friends, not for me, but for this article. Some are sports friends, that's true, some are gym friends, but not many of those are your real friends. The difference comes down to who's willing to love you when the going gets tough and give you the space and the encouragement you need to walk your own path successfully. You know, Eli, I've pointed this out to you so many times. Your mom and I love you unconditionally. You will have a very small amount of friends that you can count on when the going gets tough. They'll always have a reason to not help you with this or not help you with that or something like that. And sometimes they're doing it for your own good, but you don't feel that way. The point I'm getting at is when you have that unconditional love connection with somebody, then that's a person that's a real friend that you can really count on. Remember, most people really don't care. It's a brutal truth. They really don't. But the point is, recognize those that do and make sure that you reciprocate with people that you want to be your real friends. This is from the heart, not from the keister. I'm a senior, and Eli, I can tell you that right now I have maybe 2 or 3 people that are my unconditional friends. That's just the way it is. It's a brutal truth. 14. Well, you're not going to live forever. Existential, but true. You're not going to live forever. You won't be a 20-something forever. Be conscious of how you spend your time now so you don't wake up at 30 and say to yourself, how the heck did I end up here? You know, when you're a young man or young lady, everything is out there. You have unbelievable strength and you don't see any limitations, which is a good thing. But you have to remember that there's always a window, just as there's a window, as an example, in athletics. I mean, what's so great about Tom Brady is that he's performing at a high level when he's 43. 43 for a football quarterback is ancient times. It's like impossible, yet he did it. How did he do it? He paid attention to his diet. He paid attention to keeping his body in shape. This is true in not only the physical aspects, but also the mental aspects. So get your mental mindset on track, because you're not going to live forever, and your window of opportunity as to what you're able to accomplish on a physical and mental level. This is the reason why I'm doing these videos right now. I'm 50 years older than you are, Eli. Somewhere down the road, you're going to need the information that I'm dispensing with these videos. But am I going to be able to mentally produce for you? That was my biggest motivation to do these things on YouTube. As I said, you know what? Even if I'm, bonkers at the time that Eli needs my help, I want to have something that can help him. And because principles remain the same, I know that these videos will help you to solve the issues that you have on your plate at the moment. Listening is a gift that you give to others. Not many people listen. I mean, really listen. They stand there and they wait for their turn to be the talker. And you can always tell when somebody's really listening to you, and it makes you feel heard. Remember something. Give that gift to other people. They will appreciate you more, they will respect you more, and they will listen to you more. And that's especially true. I learned that lesson when I was in sales. One of the rules in sales is when you're in, quote unquote, the warm-up, is to let your potential client teach you something. Make them an expert in something. Make them teach you something. And genuinely listen to what it is they're saying and learn something from it. And then when they're done and you have shown the proper amount of appreciation and gratitude for learning that lesson, they will feel obligated to reciprocate and listen to the lesson that you want to teach them about why they should buy your product or service. Now that may sound very, very selfish, and it is to some degree, but actually it's a really good trait to have in terms of bonding. And life is about relationships. Next one. Your word is everything. If you say you're going to do something, do it. One of the things that you're going to find in life is that you are continually being challenged as far as trustworthiness. All it takes is one time, just one time, when you don't follow through on your word to sever a relationship. Just one time. I always try and give people the benefit of the doubt when I feel that I've been, quote unquote, wronged by somebody. I try and put myself in their shoes. I try and say to myself, give it some time, at least sleep overnight, don't have a knee-jerk reaction, because they gave you their word. Have faith that they're going to fulfill what they say they're going to do. Trust is everything in terms of relationships, and once again, relationships in life are everything. So remember that one of the highest compliments that someone can ever give you is, he gave me his word, and I trust that he will perform. Does that make some sense? Next one. The time is not tomorrow. The time is now. We're talking about procrastination here. And I've gone over this in so many different ways. My favorite way to talk about it is people love to visit Tomorrow Isle. That's where they want to take their vacations. Tomorrow I'll do that. Tomorrow I'll look at that. Tomorrow I'll think about that. You know what? When something is on your plate that's of major importance, do it now. When you have a burning desire, don't put it off. Get to the starting line. Get to the starting line. You don't have to see the entire finished product, but once you get to the starting line, you're going to run into a roadblock. Everybody does. Part of the success formula is that's the way it is. That's the reality. But once you get to the starting line, you run into that roadblock, you know what you do? You develop and create a new starting line. And here's the good news, Eli. Most of the time, where that new starting line is going to be shows up, and it's very, very clear. Not always, but most of the time, the new starting line is very evident. Next one. You are your own worst enemy. If you aren't where you want to be in life, audit your own actions before you start pointing a finger at somebody else or at some other circumstance. If you aren't achieving what you want to achieve, you got to ask yourself, what am I bringing to the table? What is getting in the way of me achieving what I want to achieve? Now, extreme circumstances aside, I mean, because you predict a pandemic, you hold the keys to your own destiny. It's on you to get out of the way of yourself and bring your vision, and make sure you have a vision, a burning desire, a purpose, to fruition. That can change, but make sure you have one, have something on your plate that you're focusing on right now. And always remember, once again, life is not fair. So if something is not evolving the way you want to do it, pause, reflect, replan, accept that failure as feedback and say, how may I overcome that? There's always a way to overcome. I'm not talking about, being able to jump to the top of the backboard. I'm talking, let's be realistic. I'm talking about situations in life where people say, well, I just don't have the resources to do that. How can I get the resources? Always ask yourself the question, how can I? How can I? The thing that separates the super achievers from the rank and file is they always ask the question, how can I? And when they figure out the answer, then they're able to achieve, as opposed to those people that say, well, I can't do this because of that. And those people limit themselves. So the answer is always self-reflection and visualize how you can get to the next starting line to achieve your goal. How can I? Great question to ask. The last one we want to go over, based upon this article by Nicholas Cole, things that you have, brutal truths that you have to learn. Volume wins. This is one of the most important. One of the things that you have to remember in life is it's not a baseball game. What the heck do I mean by that? Well, in a baseball game, you get a certain number of at-bats. And at the end of 9 innings, unless the game goes overtime, extra innings, you get a certain number of bats, a certain number of innings, and you either perform or you don't perform. You either walk, get hit by a pitch, you strike out, you hit a home run. One of the, all the different possibilities in a baseball game. Here's where life is different, and this is one of the brutal truths that is a great brutal truth. In order to be that super successful person, you only have to hit one major home run. In a baseball game, the maximum number of runs that you can score from one swing of the bat is 4. You've hit a home run and there are 3 people on base. 4 is your maximum. In life, you can have 20 runs, 100 runs, 1,000 runs with one swing of the bat. So what's the point? We're talking about volume wins. Get up to the plate and take some swings. You're not going to hit the home run every time. As a matter of fact, you're very seldom going to hit the home run. But once you do, then you are the winner. So become proficient in what it is you want to do. Devote yourself to a daily practice, a daily routine, so that you're able to measure success and you're able to see progress. Progress is the elixir of life. And when you do something in volume, what you're going to find, like just the same way, Eli, is we taught you to dribble with your left hand, we taught you to shoot with your left hand. The first time you do it, you're not so good, you're awful. Then you're not so good. Then you get to like better. Then you get to really good. Then you get to great. And it happens all of a sudden. It's cumulative. It's cumulative. So remember that volume wins. Keep doing it. Get better. Get more proficient. Become a professional. That's how a professional thinks. Steph Curry is, in my humble opinion, the best shooter who ever played the game. Guess what, Eli? He keeps shooting over and over and over and over. You don't reach a level. It's like something that happens and then you are, quote unquote, politically incorrect here, the man. All right. Once again, huge shout out to Nicholas Cole. Brutal truths you have to learn in your 20s, whether your 20s are in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s. People reach maturity at different levels. They have different epiphanies, different aha moments at different times in their life. 20s is a mindset. Always keep that in mind. And keep this other thing in mind. Hey, don't forget, don't ration the passion. Fashion the passion. I'm Eli's dad.